Breaking news, y'all, the internet is officially on fire. And if you thought the love and hip-hop universe couldn't get any messier, think again. Because guess who just turned the backstage of VH1 into a full-blown war zone? That's right, Bambi. And her target, none other than the Queen of Chaos herself, Tasha K. Now, hold up, how did we go from reality TV shade to a DNA detonation heard around the world? Did somebody spike the truth serum, or just hit go live at the wrong time? Because when I tell you this drama has everything, betrayal, receipts, screaming matches, and maybe even a flying wig or two, I mean it's giving Scandal cinematic universe. Sources are saying that after the explosive DNA leak, Bambi didn't just lose her temper, she launched a mission. Cameras were rolling, producers were panicking, and Tasha K. She was sipping her water bottle like she just dropped a gospel truth bomb. But here's the twist. What if this wasn't just a fight? What if it was revenge? Stay tuned, because the tea I'm about to spill makes the Maury Show look like Sesame Street. Let's get into it. The VH1 studio was supposed to be quiet that evening, but something in the air felt off. Like the calm before a storm that nobody wanted to admit was coming. Bambi sat in her dressing room, phone vibrating non-stop. The light from the screen flashing words she couldn't bear to read anymore. Her reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger's face staring back at her. Eyes swollen, makeup smudged, lips trembling from holding back too many emotions. The DNA leak had gone viral within minutes, and the internet had already declared her guilty of everything from lying to betrayal. Every comment, every meme, every fake headline cut her deeper than the last. She felt humiliated, exposed, and worst of all, powerless. Tasha K's live stream had been ruthless, unapologetic, and perfectly timed. The self-proclaimed queen of online truth-telling had just detonated a digital bomb that left no survivors. Bambi's name was everywhere, trending alongside words she never thought would define her: scandal, deception, paternity. Her phone buzzed again. Another notification. Another reminder that her private pain had become public entertainment. She stood up, pacing, her mind spinning between rage and regret. She thought about Scrappy's silence, about how his absence spoke louder than any post he could have made. She thought about Mama D, who probably already had her champagne glass ready for the next live session. And she thought about Tasha K, sitting somewhere smug and satisfied, counting the views and clicks that her misery had bought. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was character assassination. According to someone on the crew, Bambi muttered under her breath, if she wants to play dirty, she's about to meet her match. Her heels clicked against the cold studio floor as she stormed out. The kind of walk that made people move out of the way before even knowing why. Crew members froze, pretending to adjust cables, whispering into headsets as she passed. Cameras that weren't even rolling started recording, because everyone knew something was about to happen. The door to the green room flew open with a bang that silenced the entire corridor. There she was, Tasha come at conversation with a producer, holding her branded water bottle, laughing like nothing in the world could touch her. When she turned and saw Bambi standing there, her smirk didn't fade. If anything, it grew. The tension in that room could have cracked glass. Bambi's voice came out low, but sharp. You think ruining people's lives makes you powerful? Tasha took a slow sip of her drink and said, I don't ruin lives, sweetheart. I just reveal what people like you try to hide. The room stayed silent for 3 whole seconds. Long enough for everyone to realize this wasn't just a confrontation, it was the beginning of war. The kind of war that wouldn't end in that room, because once the cameras caught it, the world would be watching. The silence that followed was heavier than any scream. Cameras tilted, producers froze, and the few people still in the room watched the two women lock eyes like predators waiting for the first move. Bambi's voice shook, not from fear but from fury that had been brewing ever since that live stream went viral. You think you're some kind of truffler, she said, her tone sharp, but all you do is destroy people for views. Tasha crossed her arms slowly, her calmness deliberate, her smirk unshakable. Sweetheart, if the truth destroys you, maybe you were never that solid to begin with. That single sentence sent the room spinning. Someone whispered, oh no, she didn't. Phones were already up, recording everything, because in the world of reality television, every fight is content and every breakdown is ratings. Bambi took a step closer, her reflection flickering in Tasha's lens, and for a second it looked like she might swing. Security rushed in, forming a barrier, but the damage was already done. Tasha laughed, a low confident sound that only made Bambi's anger worse. You think I'm scared of your cameras? Bambi snapped. You think this is over because you said a few words online. Tasha leaned forward slightly, her eyes glinting under the studio lights. Oh baby, this is just getting started. The world hasn't even seen the rest yet. The producer whispered something frantically into his headset, probably telling the control room to keep the cameras rolling, because this was gold. Bambi's breathing was heavy, her voice trembling now more from heartbreak than rage. "You don't know what you've done to me," she said. "You don't know what it feels like to watch your whole life crumble because someone needed a headline." Tasha straightened, taking a small step forward. "No, you did that. I just made sure no one missed it." That line hit Bambi like a punch. The silence broke again with a single gasp from someone at the doorway. Spice, stepping in just as security moved between them. She rushed to Bambi's side, holding her arm, whispering something nobody could hear. But Bambi wasn't done. "You crossed a line," she said, her voice rising. "This was between me and my family. You had no right." Tasha shrugged. When lies become public property, the truth stops asking for permission. Bambi lunged again, but Spice pulled her back, shaking her head. "Not like this, girl," she pleaded. "Don't give them what they want." Cameras were still rolling, lights still burning hot, and the studio felt like a pressure cooker seconds from explosion. Bambi's tears streaked down her face, her pride dissolving right there on the floor. "You ruined everything," she whispered, just loud enough for the microphones to catch. "And I swear, I'm going to make you regret it." The words hung in the air like a promise nobody wanted to test. Footage of the confrontation, leaked before the studio could even issue a statement, spreading across every blog, gossip page, and social media platform within hours. By morning, hashtags were everywhere, edits were circulating. And both Bambi and Tasha had become the internet's favorite chaos duo. Clips replayed the moment over and over, Bambi's shaking voice, Tasha's calm smirk, Spice stepping in, security trying and failing to contain the storm. Bloggers added dramatic music, fans debated who was right, and influencers reacted live, breaking down every expression like body language, experts at war. Bambi stayed off social media for almost a day, but the silence only made things worse. Comments filled her last post, calling her a liar, a manipulator, a fallen queen. Brands quietly began backing out. Collaborations paused. And PR teams scrambled to control a narrative that was already beyond saving. Inside her apartment, she sat on the floor surrounded by makeup wipes and crumpled tissues, staring at her phone screen lighting up every few seconds with new notifications. The world she built from curated perfection was collapsing in real time, and she didn't know how to stop it. Then Spice showed up again, walking in without knocking, eyes heavy with concern. She sat beside Bambi and said softly, "If you keep hiding, they'll bury you. You gotta fight back, but not with your fists. Use your voice." Bambi didn't look up at first, but those words settled somewhere deep. Slowly, she opened her phone, scrolled past the chaos, and hit go live. Her face appeared raw and bare, her tone low but steady. "I didn't lie to hurt anyone," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "I lied because I didn't trust anyone with the truth, and now I know why." Within minutes, tens of thousands tuned in. Comments flew across the screen, some supportive, most skeptical, but she kept talking. She accused Tasha of using her for views, of twisting words for content, of pretending to be the voice of truth, while privately begging for exclusives. She showed messages, screenshots, audio clips that hinted at manipulation behind the scenes. The audience exploded, half gasping, half calling her bluff. Across town, Tasha was already watching. Her team wanted her to respond instantly, but she smiled, shook her head, and said, "Let her have her moment." An hour later, she dropped her own video, perfectly edited, complete with timestamps and receipts of her own. "She can tell her version," Tasha said, "but I've got the facts." That line became the quote of the day. The next morning, Scrappy finally broke his silence. One black screen, one sentence. "Tomorrow, my truth." The internet lost its mind. Bambi stared at the post for a long time, her heart pounding with dread. She whispered to herself, "He's really done with me." The camera on her phone was still on, comments still rolling, but she said nothing. The war wasn't over. It had only changed battlegrounds, so now the question is what happens next? Is this really the end of Bambi's story, or just another chapter in the never-ending circus of reality TV chaos? One thing is clear. This saga has changed everything. Friendships destroyed, careers shaken, reputations burned to the ground, and the internet eating it all up like popcorn. But here's what I want to know from you. Do you think Bambi was a victim who got pushed too far? Or was Tasha K just doing what she always does best? Serving the truth, raw and unfiltered. Whose side are you really on? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is nowhere near finished. And if you think this story was wild, wait until you see what's coming next. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next revelation might just break the internet all over again.